It begins with silence, not the kind that comforts, but the kind that feels like the world has forgotten how to breathe. You don't feel it right away. No tremor, no warning. The air is still, the ground beneath you familiar. But somewhere deep inside the planet, in that molten sea of iron that keeps Earth alive, something shifts. At first, scientists notice it before you do. Their screens flash numbers that shouldn't change, but do. Atomic clocks lose their rhythm. Satellites drift, of course. GPS signals flicker like fireflies in a storm. The news breaks at 3:17 a.m. UTC. One short headline that doesn't make sense. Earth's rotation decelerating. Measurable rate confirmed. No one knows what to make of it. You scroll past it, fast asleep, assuming it's a glitch. But hours later, you feel the first wind. A strange eastward gust that seems to come from nowhere. It carries a low hum like distant thunder, except there's no storm. You look up, and the clouds are racing faster than they should. Then the air grows heavy, pressed, alive. You don't know it yet, but the planet is beginning to stop, and the air remembers motion. At the equator, you've always been moving nearly 1670 kilometers per hour, faster than the speed of sound. You never felt it because everything land, sea, air spun with you. But when the crust slows, the atmosphere doesn't. At first, the winds are like a storm front, violent, chaotic, but survivable. Then they rise, hundreds of kilometers per hour, then thousands. The air itself becomes liquid, a river of air slamming into mountains, tearing forests from the ground, shredding concrete like paper. Entire cities vanish in minutes. Anything not anchored to the crust is thrown eastward, carried by the lingering momentum of the moving air. The sound is indescribable, not a roar, but a scream made of sky. From the window, you watch trees bend, power lines arc, the horizon blur. The pressure outside crushes windows, bursts eardrums. You crawl into the cellar, praying to a world that has forgotten what stillness feels like. And then, just as suddenly, everything quiets. The wind stops, not because it ran out of strength, but because the planet finally has. You emerge to a sky of pale gold, clouds shredded, a silence so complete it makes your bones ache. The air was heavy and wrong. It smells like burnt salt and ozone. The earth is almost still. The next morning, something's off. You look east, waiting for the sunrise, but it's already there and it doesn't move. The sun is fixed, frozen in place like a painting. Halfway above the horizon, its light never changes. Half the planet now faces it eternally, the other half is locked in night. And between them, a narrow twilight ring wraps the world in endless dusk. A soft orange glow that never fades. The scientists explain what's happening. Without rotation, there are no days or nights, no dawn, no evening, no more ticking rhythm to guide time. The side facing the sun begins to feel the boil. Air pressure spikes, oceans evaporate, rain clouds vanish. Meanwhile, the dark side freezes. Temperatures plunge below minus 100 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere collapses. Oxygen and nitrogen crystallize and fall like snow. The sound of it, frozen air falling from the sky, is like shattered glass raining forever. You stand in the middle, in the eternal dusk, the only strip of land still capable of supporting life. You look up, and for the first time, you realize how fragile your world has always been. Spinning so fast, you never notice the miracle of motion. When Earth stops, the oceans don't. Water, like air, keeps its momentum. Billions of tons of it surge eastward, crashing over continents, stripping coastlines bare. Every shoreline becomes a memory. From space, the planet looks wounded. One side glows gold, covered in steam and storms. The other glitters blue-black with ice. The twilight belt, where you live now, is thin, fragile, barely 1,000 kilometers wide. And yet, humanity clings to it. You and millions of others flee toward the twilight, guided by instinct and gravity, away from the cold, away from the flame. Here, water flows in strange ways. Hot streams from the dayside meet cold rivers from the night, forming fogs that hang over the land like ghosts. Everywhere, the air hums, a slow vibration as though the planet itself is straining under imbalance. Scientists measure the new gravity field. Without centrifugal force from rotation, you now weigh slightly more. You can feel it, subtle but real. Your body drawn a little tighter to the ground. You kneel, touch the soil, and it feels heavier than before. The planet hasn't died. It's just remembering what stillness feels like. Days, weeks, months, none of it means anything now. Time is broken. The sun no longer moves, so people measure by heartbeat and hunger. Some communities light candles at intervals and call them shifts. Others simply stop counting. Without rotation, the magnetic field weakens. The auroras fade. Then faintly, new ones appear. Thin ribbons of radiation glowing at strange latitudes. The shielding is failing. Cosmic rays seep through the sky, invisible but deadly. Farmers in the twilight belt wear reflective suits. Children are born with new kinds of resistance, thicker skin, faster healing, strange pigments that shimmer under ultraviolet. The planet is reshaping its children. You begin to dream differently. In the absence of a rising or setting sun, your mind loses the rhythm of sleep. You wake and sleep in loops, hours or days, you can't tell. You begin to hear the heartbeat of the earth, a deep, almost musical vibration rising through the ground. It's not imagination, it's seismic resonance. The crust adjusting to a shape it was never meant to hold. The stillness isn't peaceful, it's alive. The twilight zone becomes humanity's final sanctuary. You live in a city built along the edge of darkness, half lit, half frozen. At the eastern boundary, the sun hovers eternally above the horizon, casting golden light through constant mist. At the western edge, frost encroaches, creeping mile by mile each decade. This narrow strip of land supports everything now: crops under filter light. Hydrothermal vents provide heat and water. Energy comes from the deep, from the earth's molten veins, still spinning weakly beneath your feet. Solar panels cover the bright edge, endless mirrors glinting in the fixed sunlight. People work in silence, harvesting power from a sun that never sets. Children have never seen a shadow move. They draw pictures of the sky, always the same shade. To them, sunrise is a myth, an old word from a forgotten language. And yet, in this stillness, life feels fragile but astonishing. Every heartbeat, every breath, every step is defiance, proof that motion may stop, but living doesn't. Centuries pass, civilization adapts. In the bright zone, the oceans are gone, vaporized into the upper atmosphere, forming vast shining mirrors that reflect sunlight back into space. On the other side, frozen oceans pile miles thick, sealing away ancient life. Between them, rivers flow in both directions, hot on one side, icy on the other. They meet and form perpetual fog banks that glow orange under the fixed sun. You call them breathing lakes. They exhale vapor, inhale light. Scientists study these new systems. They discover slow currents circling the globe, hot air rising on the bright side, gliding across the stratosphere, descending cold and heavy into night. The planet breathes once per year. You stand on a cliff above a breathing lake. Feel the wind shift faintly on your face, the only motion left. It's like whisper of the old earth returning to say, I am still here. Generations later, the world is quiet. No cities roar, no waves crash. The stars never move. You live under a dome now. Radiation protection, climate control. Your ancestors told stories of a spinning world. To you, they sound like myths. But one night, while calibrating seismic sensors, you notice something strange. A vibration, faint, rhythmic, regular. It repeats every few hours, just enough to move a needle on your instruments. You send the data to the central observatory. Weeks later, a message returns. The planet is moving, very slightly, but moving. The moon, still orbiting faithfully, has been tugging at the oceans. Tiny gravitational pulls accumulating over millennia. Now, the balance has tipped. The Earth is turning again. So slowly you can't see it, but you can feel it. Like a memory waking from a long sleep. It takes 1,000 years for one full rotation. To you, it's just a fraction of a degree of movement. The sun shifting barely a finger width each generation. But then, one morning, you notice light on the mountains. Not the same as before, softer, warmer. It's sunlight coming from an angle you've never seen. The sun has moved. For the first time in recorded human history, you witness a sunrise. The people gather in silence. Tears stream down faces that have never known mourning. Children lift their hands to the light as if greeting a long lost friend. The planet breathes deeper. Winds stir. Rain falls again. The first rain in centuries that actually travels, carried by motion instead of evaporation. The world weeps with you. Decades turn into centuries. The spin quickens. A full day becomes a century, then a year, then a month. The Coriolis effect returns. Winds form patterns. Clouds begin to dance. Animals re-emerge. Migratory instincts, long dormant, awaken. The oceans soar and surge back toward the equator, carving new continents. Humanity rebuilds, not as conquerors, but as caretakers. You plant crops in soil enriched by ages of stillness. You build clocks not to control time, but to honor it. The first nightfall arrives like a miracle. The sun slips below the horizon. The stars emerge, moving, twinkling, alive. People cheer, cry, sing. After thousands of years, darkness has meaning again. Now, centuries later, you lie on a hill watching the stars spin slowly above you. The air hums softly. The oceans whisper in rhythm with the turning of the planet. And you understand something your ancestors didn't. Motion isn't chaos, it's balance. It's what keeps oceans liquid, hearts beating, thoughts flowing. Stillness is death disguised as peace. Movement, that's life remembering itself. You close your eyes, and beneath you, the planet turns. You can feel it, a steady, silent pulse carrying you around the sun once more. The earth is moving. Time is alive again. And so are you. So tonight, as you fall asleep, remember you are not still. You are moving at 1,000 miles an hour, spinning around a star that itself orbits the galaxy. Every breath you take is part of that motion. The universe never stops. It only pauses long enough for us to notice. And in that noticing, we awaken to wonder. The earth is turning again, and that is the most beautiful sound in all of creation. Sleep well, traveler. The world beneath you is alive, and it's still spinning.